I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, I really wish there was someone out there who could explain to me the easiest way to cook a steak. There's very few experts out there who know how to cook a steak. I'm not an expert, but I can certainly tell you how to cook the best tasting steak without spending $1,000 on a piece of steak, with only using a few simple ingredients. I'm gonna show you how to pan sear this steak, and it is gonna be so good, it's gonna blow your mind. So let's get to it. I'm Dave, and you're watching Dave's Taste Buds, and welcome back. Got a great episode for you today. We're going to show you how to cook a nice, easy, simply done pan-seared steak. It's going to have some sauteed onions on top. It's going to have some delicious juices that go with it. So let's get right into it. I went to the store, grabbed a couple of ribeyes. I wanted to get one that was choice, and I also got one that was grass-fed. Real quick thing before we get into it, grass-fed is tricky. Don't get fooled. It has to say, they can say grass-fed, but it's not all the way grass-fed. They can grass-feed till 90% and then just start feeding them soy, corn, GMOs, all that nasty kind of stuff. If you really want true grass-fed beef, it has to say 100% grass-fed or grass-fed, grass-finished. So if you really want to check out the difference, we're going to get into it today when I taste these at the end. I'm assuming that with this recipe with a lot of other intense flavors, you're really not going to be able to tell the difference because it's going to have onions on top and all kinds of other great stuff. So, but I wanted to check it out. I wanted to let you know what the difference is. So that being said, let's get this ready to go. Ribeyes, let these sit out. Let your steaks sit out, guys. Let them sit out until they get to room temperature. And then we're just going to dust them with a little bit of salt for this recipe. The salt, more. While that's going, let's get the pan heating up. Plenty of salt, guys, plenty of salt. It's gonna create a nice sear, and that's what you're gonna wanna do. Some people call this steak the minute steak. It's really quick too. 3 or 4 minutes each side, get a nice sear on it, get some baste on it, set it aside and let it rest. Yeah, so good, so easy, so simple. So, first things first, get your cast iron pan, get it nice and hot. And while you're at it, check out my cast iron pan video. Shows you how to season them. Nothing worse than getting a brand new cast iron pan and you can't use it because you gotta season it first. So season it, check out the video. Neutral oil, I'm going with vegetable oil this time. I think it's a little overpowering to use an olive oil for this. You just want something really simple, really neutral. So, and you're gonna want to coat the bottom of the pan. Make sure the whole thing's coated, almost like a, like a really, really shallow fry. You're gonna wanna get some good heat on it too, because you really wanna get that sear. So we're gonna let that heat up for a couple minutes, and then we're gonna drop that steak in there. All right, now that we got our pan nice and hot, we're gonna take our ribeye. You can also use a top sirloin for this. You could even use a London broiler if it was thin enough. You don't have to get this expensive meat, but it's tougher to get a top sirloin that's grass-fed, and I really wanted to be able to compare the two, so I just went with ribeye. It's a little overkill. Hear that? That's what you're gonna want. And when you hear that sizzle, always lay steaks away from you when you put them in the pan. Last thing you wanna do is splash yourself with it, so. Move these around a little bit and make sure that gets nice and coated with the hot oil on the bottom. You're gonna wanna get that crust, so don't be afraid at the very beginning to put a little pressure on them. It's not like, they're still completely raw, so you're not going to jam a bunch of juices out of it, so just roll with that. Even if you have something to weigh it down, you have a weight like this. This one isn't that heavy, but it might help a little bit. There you go, because that sear is really what you're looking for. I just splashed myself with a bunch of grease, so you're going to want to be careful while this is going on. A little bit, we're going to check the bottoms. Yep, we get a decent sear already. That's what you want. Like I said, it's only 3 or 4 minutes per side on these guys. I'm going to turn up that heat a little bit, get that crust going. See that? That's the kind of crust you're looking for. I don't know if you can see it better from here or better from here. See that brown, crisp crust? That's what you're looking for. I'm gonna flip that right over now. We're gonna sear that other side. Now we have a nice sear on these. What we're gonna do is we're gonna turn our heat down a little bit, in fact quite a bit. We're gonna add some butter. We're gonna do some basting. Grab a nice big spoon. It's about 4 or 5 tablespoons of butter. It might be overkill, but butter's so good. How can you go wrong? Got our butter in the pan. Make sure you have something to grab these handles. Cast iron, guys. If this handle's not long, some of them have really long handles. If it's kind of short, they generate a lot of heat. So make sure you got something nearby to grab that. What you're going to want to do is give it a little bit of a tilt. And you're just going to want to take that butter and you're going to want to baste it right over the top. Oh, see all that foam, all that frothiness? That is going to seep right in. That is going to grab that butter flavor and it's just going to jam it right into that steak for you. Like that. I'm going to give it a quick flip. Oh, the sear's looking good, the crust is looking good. And it's so simple. You don't have to get into, over temping stuff, searing it and then putting it in the oven, put it in the oven and then taking it out and reverse searing it. Just, baste it a little bit. So good. We're gonna take them out at this point. We're gonna let them rest. We're gonna take all these juices that are gonna come out of these steaks, put it right back in here. We're gonna lower our heat some more. Then, we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna get our onion ready to put right into it. I like using sweet Vidalia onions when it comes to this recipe. You don't want to cut them too thin because they're going to be simmering in here for a little while. So we're going to get them a little bit on the thick side. There we go. Kind of a, like I said, a thicker cut. You can leave them in whole rings if you want. I just find it easier to cut. Drop them right in here. Hands up. Like I said, we're not going to saute these to death. We're going to want them to have a little bit of a crunch to them, a little bit of texture we're going to add to it. We're going to let these cook down. They're going to take a couple minutes, so I'm going to get these sauteed up. Show you how they're going to look like at the end once they're done. Now that these onions are just about where we want them, just going to give them another quick stir. I'm going to hit them with a little fresh ground pepper. Go. See that? That's just about exactly what you're looking for. Take our steaks, put them on our cutting board. We didn't get a ton of juice out of these, but whatever juice we did get, that goes right back into the pan. That's flavor right there. We're gonna have that. And like I say in all my videos, clean your kitchen as you go. There's nothing worse than knowing you're going to sit down and eat some delicious food, but in the back of your mind you're thinking your kitchen's a disaster and you're going to have to go deal with that after. You don't want to deal with that. There we go. We are good to go. Slide that down a little bit, being real careful, of course. Get our grass-fed right there. I got these really nice slate plates off of Amazon. If you want to know where to get them. Really gives a nice sharp contrast to what you're doing. Go. Take a little bit of these onions on top. this one. You serve these with some homemade fries, mashed potatoes, whatever you want. Don't forget, we got a little bit of this butter in here. We're gonna just drizzle a little bit of that right on top. Give it more juice. And there we go. I mean, that's the way to make a really nice, simple steak. It's easy. You almost can't mess that up. If you can turn on a frying pan, you can cook this steak. The next step is the best step, because I am going to taste it. I'm just going to slide this out of the way. Got a ribeye. I'm going to cut right into the middle of it. Get a good look at what's going on in here. It is looking good. It's looking juicy. Cut right into this one. And it's hard to go wrong with a decent ribeye either way. Let's taste it. While I'm about to do that, guys, do me a favor for the algorithm. Go ahead and hit that like button. Certainly hit that subscribe button. Oh yeah. Oh. The onions still got a little crunch to it. Tons of buttery flavor. You can really taste the steak itself. With a little bit of salt. So good. That was your regular grain-fed. This is your grass-fed. Oh, so juicy. Wow. Yeah, guys, really, you can't go wrong. Tender. It would be this tender whether it was ribeye, whether it was top sirloin. You don't have to spend a bunch of money making a steak like this, but you can certainly impress your friends and family with a simple, quick. What'd that take us total, start to finish? 10-12 minutes? Seriously, so easy. So that being said, check out these other two videos I have. Cast iron, I got this other great video down here. Don't forget to subscribe. You've been watching Dave's Taste Buds. Thanks for checking out this episode, and until we meet again, go cook something.